back to Attingham Park and my first video after the holiday. Well, I think I recorded this on holiday, but not the voiceover. So anyway, starting off with destroying up the cows, and then we are going to get into some more feeding, some fertilizing, and a bit of playing around with environmental scores today. Because that's what needs doing on the farm. And it's really weird, having had quite a long break. Getting back into this has been a bit of a challenge is not the right word. I've been putting it off, basically. But we're back now. I have a whole bunch of videos queued up that need commentary recorded. I have a bunch of tutorials planned that I want to record. So just kind of getting stuck into it. And cows are bedded up, and now we need to feed the sheep, where I've changed grazing so that we need to be in extra grass state longer. It's kind of slowed down when grazing's kicked in, so we're going to run over, give them some cut beets because that will be their moisture food, some grain mix, and we're going to destroy the root crop store on the way, and some hay. We don't have any whole crop silage yet to do their silage, but we'll be doing that in the next video on. In fact, we did it in the last video. It's just not fermented yet. In the next video, we're going to be sorting out some smaller whole crop silage bales though, because those are a bit big for feeding the sheep, if I'm honest. One of those bales would fill the entire trough probably, which is not good. So there is a mod on the testing list actually to cut bales, to open bales, and I'm hoping that that is like it was with the global company in FS22, where you could cut a bale and it would turn into a pile on the floor, because that would really help with some of this stuff. For now, next video we're going to be making some smaller silage bales, and depending on the order of when I get things done, I've done a tutorial video on that either after or before this video. So yeah, feature of maizePlus, which I don't think many people are aware of, and it is quite cool. So I want to show that off. Getting a bucket of grain mix. We're soon going to need to mix more of that. I think we've still got plenty of grain in the silo, so that's not a problem. Probably time we bought the grain mill, I think. The other job I want to do is expand the grazing area for the cows. I haven't had chance or time, or not really. I haven't felt like doing it. I haven't felt like diving into Giants Editor and XML. So yeah, I want to do that. I want to make use of that whole pasture area. So next job is to grab a bale of hay, and that will be 3 of the 4 bars filled. I have noticed that that is not enough to get the sheep doing things. I don't think. I think that's the cause. I need to dig into it a bit more. It's greying out their reproduction. I don't know. It could be that the pen's fault. I haven't looked. But yeah, it's not enough. So we have whole crop silage fermenting, and as soon as the calendar ticks over, then grazing will kick back in. What I'm kind of hoping is that it won't scalp the ground quite so much, because it looks a bit pants, if I'm honest. So yeah, that's the hope, that it will leave part of a grass state so that the map looks a bit nicer. Yeah. One of the things that I'm working on, and I think you'll see it in the next video, is trying to make things look a bit better. So something that I posted on or mentioned in a previous video, and I have now got animals in the nearby cow field on here, and got some vehicles in there. I'm going to be doing a video on that, but right now we are swapping the wheels on the Arian to row crops, because we are going to go and fertilize the maize fields, and we're going to use the sprayer for that. I think I used the spreader. We'll see. Can't remember which I used. It was a while ago, and it'll be a surprise for all of us. Yeah, so a really good holiday, but 4 days back home, and like the holiday hasn't happened almost. It's, yeah, back to the routine of work and stuff. now trying to get back into the routine of getting videos done because it's fun. Yeah, I say it's kind of weird. It's taken me a bit to get back into producing stuff. I don't know why. Don't know why. Maybe a little bit of. I'm not sure. Anyway, we need to move the Q series out of the way because we are going for the solid fertilizer spreader. It's obviously much quicker than the liquid because it's got a 50 meter working width rather than the 20 odd of the sprayer. What we will be doing later is grabbing the sprayer. That's why I was moving the JCB to get the front weight because the spreader is heavy. We're going to get the sprayer out and we're going to go around all of our fields that didn't need weeding and sort out the precision farming environmental score, so that still works. Just filling up the spreader. Yeah, so if you've got fields that don't need ploughing or don't need weeding, maybe because you've ploughed them, but you still want the precision farming environmental score, if you run around with the sprayer and turn it on the field, you get the full bonus as if you had done see and spray. Yes, it's cheating. It's part of the mechanic of precision farming, so I'm using it. You know, I sort of get why they prefer that over ploughing, but you know, ploughing I'm not applying chemicals. And at the moment we don't really have, you know, there are other ways of dealing, and maybe there aren't. I don't know. I'm not a farmer. I'll be quiet. There you can see we've got weeds in this field of maize as well, so we're going to need to spray that. And I think we might do that this video as well, but first job is the fertilizer spreading, and we're doing that on automatic, so it will even out all of the bars from the manure spreading that we did. Slurry spreading, digestate spreading, digestate. Probably next time we do that, I'm going to try the John Deere thing that you can add, which normalizes the application rate. I think that might be quite useful. Not sure how that works with setting your own rate, which is what I tend to do, but not really used it before, so we might as well give it a try. So one of the things that kind of confuses me, actually, I have two series running at the moment. It's the third one kicking in fact today for me, which is Greenlands, which is coming back, which is going to be really fun. Is this series, which is showing off maizePlus on Attingham, gets about twice as many views as a similar series I'm doing on Maypole, and it's not maybe not highlighting maizePlus quite so much, but same person, same style of play, a slightly different style of play, older kit. But yeah, it really confuses me as to why one of them gets half as many views consistently as the other. So if you're watching this one and you aren't watching the other one, either let me know why in the comments or go watch the other one because it's good. So one of the things that I'm interested in as well, apart from the very squeaky chair that I'm sat on, is are there any bits of maizePlus that I haven't explored or explained yet? Obviously there are a whole load of tutorials on the channel, but I might have missed something. So yeah, there was one request about how you can use the animal data override to maybe increase the output of other animals other than cows. Haven't looked at it yet, but I plan to. There has been some discussion on the maizePlus Discord about it, but it was in one of the German channels and I didn't really follow it because there's only so much you can put through DeepL, which is an AI, I think it's AI fed translation tool, which is really good if you read a lot of things that aren't in your native language. It's very cool, but there are limits to how much I can follow using that. So yeah, something that I need to have a look at, something that will be interesting to look at, but I need to have a play with it first before I can make a video on it. But is there any other things that you're interested in? So I did put a post on the channel page, but you might not have seen that. So yeah, if there's anything that you're using maizePlus for that you would like clarification with, stick a comment below. A reoccurring one is, can you make chicken food in the mixer? And no, at the moment you can't. You can't just add it. The mixer script is very delicately balanced, shall we say. That's in FarmSim, not in maizePlus, and there are limits to what you can add. So chicken food at the moment is not an option. If you want to make chicken food, I would grab a production and edit it maybe to make the chicken food that you want. There's probably a chicken food production out there somewhere, maybe, I don't know. I don't really. I'm doing chickens on Fertilizing, my Let's Play series for the patrons. So in fact, while we're at it, let's say thank you to the channel patrons and the YouTube channel members, because appreciate what you guys do in supporting the channel. But yeah, if I'm doing chickens on there but not on anywhere else, and I'm not using chicken feed on there, I'm feeding them in their individual components. So that's both maize fields fertilized. Didn't take too long. One of the joys of this sulky fert spreader is it's huge. Well, its spread width is huge, and so you can cover the ground really quickly. Maybe a bit cheaty. Actually, it's not, because I've looked it up. It's a real thing, so it's not cheaty. It's a real implement. So yeah, it's, I guess, the automatic control of precision farming I always find a bit cheaty, but you know, it is what it is. Part of the game. So how you use it. Although on Maypole, I'm not using it. I'm doing I'm doing imprecise farming. So I have precision farming running, but because I'm playing without GPS, I'm having to manually control everything, which is really good fun. So yeah, if you watch VF, it's a bit like he's doing it on Attingham, because I suggested to him that he does it on Attingham because we're playing in about the same era. So yeah, it's yeah, it's fun. It's more challenging than this, where you just switch it on and go and it works. We're only adding a tiny bit of fert here, but I just wanted to get this this grass field covered. Everything else has got lots of nitrogen on from slurry application. For some reason this one doesn't. I'm not sure why. So yeah, just giving that a top up. The grass field that we planted that was going to be corn, which I put as grass, has not grown enough to be mown yet. So maybe next month we'll and probably gonna make that into hay, because we seem to be getting short of hay. So that would be good. And in the next video, I think it is, you'll start to see this field next to us populated with cows, because I have added it in between videos. I think it's that field anyway, maybe not. The field that's the cow pasture for the farm next door. And thanks to Kartek, he sent me over his, he's playing on that farm in his Let's Play series on Attingham. So he sent me over his vehicles.xml file, and I swiped a few of the vehicle configs that he has or similar. So it kind of looks a bit like it's his farm, although I don't have the bajillion silage bales that guy has created. That man does love a contract. But yeah, and I've done it on Maypole as well. I think it's in the next Maypole video. It is. It's in the next Maypole video, and it's I really like it. I really like that the farms have animals in the fields. On Maypole, I've only put vehicles on one of the farms so far, because it's quite a slow process. Just in terms of going through and creating, you know, of getting all the kit. So I'll probably do that more slowly, but it's definitely something that I like doing. It really brings the map to life. It's you know, on Maypole I'm doing a lot of contracts, and you drive around the map, you go into a farm, and there's animals in the enclosures. There will be vehicles once I've populated them all. Yeah, it's really nice. One of the other things that I'm thinking, as I ramble away, is when you're doing baling contracts, you know, you always deliver them to some random sell point. Something that I would really think would be really cool, and I think I know a way of doing it, is you delivered them to the farm of the farmer. And what I'm thinking is that you could just put a bale sell point on each of the unpopulated farms. And then if the contract doesn't pick that sell point, you could just go in and edit it so that it does. So you're, oops, crash. So you're effectively creating the bales for the farmer and delivering them to the farmer. That's partly because sometimes it's a bit annoying having to drive halfway across a map to deliver the bales, and partly because I think that's better. And what I would like even more is a way of stacking the bales for the farmer and having the contract complete and me not own the bales, but I'm not sure there's a way of doing that. So that's my first step with that, is maybe trying to put bale sell points on each of the farms and seeing if we can have the contracts at least deliver to the farm that owns the field, because I think that would be quite cool. Oh, and our sprayer has got stuck. Not sure if must have delivered is the wrong word. Must have parked this with a tractor which had a different hitch height. That's quite annoying. We're just going to cheat a little bit. There we go. Job done. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is fudge the... no, first we're going to go and spray the weeds in the maize field. Then we're going to fudge everything else so that we get the environmental bonus, because why not? In fact, we probably need to do the cow. I didn't do that cow pasture. I did all the other fields. So it's one of those weird ones where, you know, in fact, we're going to do this one first. So if we look in here and we go to the precision farming map and look at the environmental score, you'll see that the third bar is about halfway at the moment. Haven't done anything, not negatively impacted, not positively impacted. So we've turned the sprayer on, driven around a bit, and it's up to 100. So job done. Haven't used any herbicide because we don't need to apply any, but we get the bonus for not needing to apply herbicide, which I think sort of makes sense. I guess apart from the fact that we've dealt with the weeds through ploughing them. Anyway, we're going to deal with these weeds now. So yeah, I'm really getting into trying to bring maps to life. Now, I generally play with traffic off because I don't like the traffic in Farm Sim. It's kind of that simple. But I do like seeing the map not completely sterile. So yeah, it's what I'm doing to try and improve that. And I'm going to be doing videos on how I've done it. There are probably a load of ways of doing it, but I've come up with a way that I like. So I'll show that off maybe at the weekend. Depends how things go. That's when it's planned. I haven't recorded it yet, but that's when it's planned. So we'll see if we get it done in time or not. I went away for the week with a whole load of videos recorded and an idea in my mind of what had happening when I got home, and another crash bigger than I'm used to. That's what she said. Yeah, I had, you know, a whole bunch of things I was expecting to happen at work this week that haven't, which is good and bad. I don't like change. I had what I expected to be my plan for work this week, and as soon as I switched my laptop on, that plan went out of the window, and that's been kind of frustrating. Mrs. D has been ill since we got home, which has made things a bit more tricky, and yeah, just getting back into the life routine and working and all that stuff has been kind of tiring, I guess. The holiday was really good, really enjoyed it. Really nice to spend time as a family. We didn't do a huge amount because the weather was quite mixed. We had a couple of days where the rain was torrential. In fact, we did try and go out on one of the days where the weather was really bad, and having got absolutely soaked, putting fuel in the car with horizontal rain blowing under the cover of the fuel station, we decided to retreat back home. And so yeah, it was cool. We watched a bunch of Netflix, stuff like that, just hung out. It's kind of nice. We watched The Watcher on... I'm really struggling with this sprayer. We watched The Watcher on Netflix. Oh, that's good. If you haven't seen it, watch it. I really enjoyed it. It's very loosely, very loosely based on a true story. Very loosely. But it's a really enjoyable series. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. We should probably talk about Platinum Edition. I have expressed my views on what's coming, and some of you won't like it, some of you won't care, some of you meh. So let's start with the good. There are some really cool things coming. I've not looked at all of the details, but in FS19 on PC, we had the logging winches, the Fan, I think it was. I never really used it, but it looked really cool. Because that's coming as part of the DLC, that means it's coming to all platforms. So that means console guys will be getting the logging winches, which is really cool. If the winching capability is not locked behind the fact that it's a paid DLC, which means it was encrypted and modders can use it as well, that's going to be even cooler. Imagine trucks with winches. Yes, that's going to be cool. The new brand's coming in. Volvo coming in as an official brand, really cool. The wheel loader that they put in the early update is really cool. Going to be using that on maizePlus soon. The little tractor looks really cool. Not really useful with such low horsepower. There are versions of it on there, or out on King's Mods and places like that if you want slightly higher horsepower ones. Yeah, those are really cool. Some of the other vehicles that are coming look really cool. If they've improved the physics of forestry, that will be really cool. I did quite a lot of forestry at the start of FS22. Not sure if I'm going to go back to doing more, but we'll see. Roller coasters and boat building. Really? If I want to build a boat, I play Stormworks. I say this every time it comes up. I can build a boat. I can actually use it. It's good fun. A roller coaster, no, not for me. I see what Giant's trying to do. I think they're trying to capture a different market than those that want to drive around in tractors and plant crops. And if it brings more money into Giant so they can develop cooler stuff in the future, awesome. It's not for me. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Some good, some bad. I would have preferred to see the development effort go into developing more of the arable side of farming. Extending what's in precision farming, maybe. There are so many things they could have added, but we get forestry and roller coasters. So yeah, but we'll see. Will I play on the new map? I don't know. It's a Giants map, so it's probably not going to be amazing compared to something like this, but it's not my style. What I would really hope is that they release a developer's kit for things like the winching. That will be cool. Please do that, Giants. Anyway, that is the weeding done. What we're going to do now is go around and cheat our environmental score up, because we have a bunch of fields that don't actually... this one does look, it's got 4 weed plants in it. This field needs weeding with See and Spray, so we better do that so that we get the environmental bonus of being environmentally friendly farmers and applying chemicals to the weeds. There we go. That's that field weeded. And we got the bonus. Yes. I'm so mixed on whether this should be a thing, but I don't think we should be penalised for not needing to weed, particularly with grass fields. Hilly, that fence is broken again. Yeah, you know, like a grass field, you never need to spray herbicide on or do anything with for weeds. So you get penalised in the environmental score because you haven't done See and Spray on it, but you don't need to because there are no weeds. And running a dairy farm, there are lots of grass fields, so we would get penalised quite a lot. So yeah, I generally do this when I'm using precision farming. I think the only... another crash. I think we're on about 4 now. The time that I haven't done it is on Maypole because we can't afford a See and Spray sprayer, so we do take the hit there. We wouldn't have had a See and Spray sprayer back then, so I don't know. When I get weeds on that save, I'm probably going to have to use a weeder or a hoe. We're not using pumps and hoses, but we will use a hoe. I do have it installed on there, just not using it. Sorry. Yeah. So, going to go around to the grass pastures now and basically open the sprayer up, spray a little bit, spray nothing in fact because there's no weeds for it to see, but it counts. Yeah, so the DLC is out in less than a week now, and you know, if you're excited about it, awesome. If you think it's going to change how you're going to play the game, brilliant. If you want it, go buy it with code Disturbed because that helps me. eventually. Let's try and see that you like my stuff, which is cool. So do that, definitely, if you're going to buy it. It's part of the season pass, which I will buy the year 2 season pass. Not because I'm necessarily excited about what will come with it, because it lets Giants develop future stuff. I want FS25 to be really good. Are they funding the development of FS25 with DLCs? That's how it works. So, yep. I do it more to support Giants and show them that I like the game, because that means they'll develop another game, and that might be even better. Kind of how it works. So, if you like Farm Sim, maybe do it anyway, even if it's not for you. There'll probably be something in there you like, nice Volvo truck, winches. And for me, I think my favourite DLC has been the Kubota one. I've used some of their stuff, but not on stuff that you've seen particularly. I had a maizePlus save set up ready, which was all Kubota, but laptop dying, having to change things. So yeah, quite liking the Vermeer. I've not really used much of it. I really like the bale counter that comes with it. I think it really sucks that that's locked behind a DLC, but we're not going to rant on that. The AGI pack, the seed prep thing in there, seed treatment thing, that's really cool. I used that on Calmston. It's got a shed full of seeds waiting to be sold when I go back to it. Yeah, I guess that was a free DLC, but... And the cool thing, because it was a free DLC, was that Giants did release the developers pack with it so that modders could make use of the features they added. I get why they don't with paid DLCs, because obviously they don't want modders to just make free versions of the stuff that's in the paid content, but it's going to be really cool if modders can bring winching, for example, into the game. I would really like that. You'll see that occasionally now I have pop up the autosave complete. That's because after the last video, when I lost a bunch of work, someone reminded me about that mod and I added it in, and I think I'm using it on every save now. I used to be using it on Fertilizing only, but yeah, I've added it in because redoing all that baling sucked. It was not one of my favourite things. It's probably quite obvious this video has taken a lot of chunks to record, and we are finally done. So I'm going to say thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, click the like button, leave me a comment, and if you're new to the channel and you've watched this far, think about subscribing, turning on notifications, and you'll see more videos like this. And I should get back to my normal, hopefully slightly improved style in the next few. So yeah, I will catch you next time on Attingham.